Hey there, and welcome back to Cosmic Crypto. In this video, we're going to be talking about Jasmy. Let's go. All right, welcome back to the channel. If you're not subscribed to the channel, come on, go down below, hit that subscribe button. While you're down there, if you can tap the like button, I would really appreciate it. Let's get into this. Jasmy. I'm going to start us out here. Actually on a lower time frame right now because there's a couple things happening that we really need to pay attention to. So, well, actually, you know what? Let's go up to a higher time frame really quick. Let's go to the daily and just kind of see really quickly what's been happening here. So, the volume is decreasing. The RSI is getting reset, along with the Cipher B is getting reset on the daily time frame. We did come up here to get rejected off of the macro 382 here, fib level. And so that's something that we'd been paying attention to for a little while. We got rejected. I did talk about how I'd really like to see Jasmy actually come back all the way down to the 236 fib, which is sitting down here on the 0053 level. And preferably, you know, for a nice kind of more healthy move, I'd like to see us come down here, come up, retest the 382, probably get rejected again, come down and just kind of form this, you know, this triangle here, this wedge, and then break out, something like that. I mean, or we can just do a double bottom and then break out. But a nice reset of all the indicators, which looks like it's coming along nicely here, would be nice. But when we get down into this area down here around the 236, I kind of would prefer it to be more of a wick, so a lower wick on the candle, so we're getting a lot of buy pressure coming in around there. But there are some things in the chart that are kind of making me think, I don't know, are we going to go a little bit lower? So let's find out. So I've had this white line here for quite a while. This is sitting right at the 0044 level, and that's previous support and previous resistance that we've had over here. So that's kind of a area of interest for me. And you can see I've got this arrow pointing right down to it, and there's a reason for that, and we'll get into that here in a second. I'd also talked about how if we did form this wedge here, from where we currently are sitting right now, the breakout target would bring us right up to actually our next price target, which would be the 0.5 fib and the 200 daily EMA, which is sitting at the 0114 level. So that would be our next price target if it did play out like that. So, I mean, technically we could just go sideways from here for maybe a day or two. And I think tomorrow the CPI readings are coming out, and maybe we get some good news. Who knows? We'll see what happens. And then maybe it just goes right up from there. So there is that possibility that we have actually found our next local bottom, which actually would also line up with kind of this, so if we took us, I mean, I'm not a huge support line kind of guy, but I mean, we can do this and start from right here. You can see we got hit right here, and now we're touching that support line as well. So there is the possibility that we have found a local bottom, and then on top of that, just one more thing to say that we possibly are at a local bottom is we're holding currently the 618 Fibonacci. So from this local low over here to the top up here, we've come down and hit this low. Now you can see I've got some other drawings on here as well, and we're going to look at that here in a second. So yeah, we are hitting that 618, so this is a great spot for it to come back down to and then move on to the upside. But I want to give you a couple other ideas that I have that I don't honestly know which one's going to play out. I don't think anybody does, especially with the CPI readings coming out tomorrow. Anything can really happen. I mean, the markets are very irrational when these things come out, so we'll just have to wait and see. So I'm just going to give you guys some ideas of what could possibly happen. So possibly we have already hit our low right now, and we can continue on to the upside. Our RSI on the daily has reset nicely to the 50 level. We're almost at the zero line on the daily for the Cipher B, which is great. I mean, there's so much saying that we can move on to the upside. And actually, let's just even go to the weekly time frame. Even the weekly time frame is looking like there's a lot more room. I mean, not looking, there is a lot more room to the upside. So then we go down to the daily, or to the 12-hour time frame, and this is where I'm starting to see some other things happening, which is making me think of a couple things. So on the 12-hour time frame, I've put these lines here. It kind of looks like we're forming a falling wedge. And this I could actually see playing out here a little bit because we're in a perfect spot for a bounce on the RSI on the 12-hour time frame. Again, we found that trend line support that I was talking about. We're also right around the 55 EMA here. And the 200 EMA is just down here below. We don't have to come down to touch the 200 EMA on the 12-hour, but I'll get to that here in a second. Another thing is if we did break down from this 618, the next target would be the 786. And that's lining up perfectly for another support line of this falling wedge. So there is a possibility that, maybe in the next 7 hours, because there's one more, we can go another 12-hour candle here. So in the next 7 hours, maybe we see a fall down, hit this 786, which would also line up perfectly with the bottom of this wedge. Then we come up, we hit the top here again, we form a double bottom with a higher low, and then we break out and our price target is back up to the 382. I'm almost leaning towards that's the likelihood, and that was actually my original take on this that I was looking at earlier today. My idea was this falling wedge that we'd be coming in, but then I saw something else that kind of made me think, uh-oh, is there something else going on here? And so the 12-hour time frame is pointing out this falling wedge really nicely to come and test this 786. We might even break below it just a second to retest to that 236 on the macro level. But if we came down and tested the 786 at the 0054 level and then came up and created a higher low and then continued onto the upside, that'd be a fantastic area for a trade. Also on the Cypher B, it kind of looks like we're on the 12-hour, looks like we're about to roll over and create a green dot. Probably in the next 24 hours, it looks like a green dot might be coming into play. But at that point, the move to the downside and then to the upside would have probably already played out by that point. So then we're going to move. And actually, we can see my next idea here on the 12-hour as well. So you can see that I just saw this earlier today. Honestly, I don't know if this is going to play out. In my opinion, we're still in a bullish scenario for a retracement. And this is a head and shoulders pattern. So you got your left shoulder, you've got your head, you've got your right shoulder right here, and we've broken beneath the neckline. Come back up to not really retest it yet, but we did come, we are kind of just going sideways right here beneath the neckline, and you can see how that's played out. And so the price target of this head and shoulders, which I found very interesting, is right down to my white line here, which would bring us right down to previous support, previous resistance. One thing I don't like about this is it does break through the 12-hour 200 EMA. And let's go to the daily to see what the daily is. That's nothing on the daily for that. But it does break us below the 12-hour 200 EMA. It breaks us below our previous resistance at the 236. And I just have a feeling that this 236 is going to be strong support. Not only do you have the 12-hour 200 EMA, but you've got the 236 fib here, which took us a long time to break above. And to just blast right through it like that, I guess we could just slow grind our way down as well. But I don't know. To me, it just doesn't seem as likely. But this is a possible scenario. I just don't think it's as likely of a scenario. Another thing is we're losing momentum on the volume here, which is also a good thing. So for a breakout to the upside, so usually when you get into one of these patterns here, which I'm not a huge pattern guy either. I'm more of a Fibonacci guy. But patterns play out sometimes, and, you can use them in your technical analysis to kind of get just better insight on the charts and the market. And so and also the fibs line up perfectly with this falling wedge here. Crap, I forgot what I was just going to say. Oh, the volume is dropping. So usually when you start getting into these patterns, the volume will start dropping, and then all of a sudden you'll get the big boom and the big explosion out of that pattern. So there's also that going for us. Now on the 4-hour, let's just go down a little bit further, and you can see that we are holding on for dear life right here at this 618. So there is that, and we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 candles sitting at the 618 here on the 4-hour. Let's see, oh boy, that is awfully close for some kind of a bullish divergence here. I don't think so. Doesn't look like it, but we do have on Cypher B a possible green dot about to form, but it also looks like it doesn't want to form almost to me. It almost looks like it, I don't know, this wave is curling over, and then we're just going to get either a quick green dot and then a quick red dot and then a crash down. I mean, that's kind of just what it looks like it wants to do. Yeah, I don't know. I guess we'll just have to wait and see on that one. But again, the 4-hour 200 EMA is also sitting right down here. So we could crash down, wick below that 200 EMA, close a body above it. So we could tap that 786 along with this trend line for the bottom and this falling wedge here, something like that. So there's those possibilities. But again, here's that head and shoulders again. So you got your left shoulder, you got your head, and you got your right shoulder. Then you got the breakdown from the neckline. And so there is that possibility that with all the FUD and the news that's going around right now with BUSD, with the SEC cracking down on crypto, I mean, there is that possibility with all this FUD coming out that we do get a big flash crash down and retest these lows here at the 0044 level. And if that's the case, you know, I do think that this area right here is going to hold, at least for the shorter term. I guess if you were to give me a percentage here, I'm going to go like a 60-40. I kind of feel like a 60% that this falling wedge is what's going to play out here. And that would start us on our ascending triangle wedge that we're going to be, that I'm hoping to form up here. And yeah, and then probably 40% chance that we come down to this 0044 and have this head and shoulders pattern play out. But you never know. So I just want to give you guys all the scenarios that I'm kind of seeing in my head. Also, so I got another fib on here, and let me point out why. So I've taken a fib from this top up here down to this bottom, and as you can see, not only are we finding support here at the 618, but we're also getting rejected on the retracement at this 236 fib. I mean, it's a perfect wedge right in there, and you can also call this maybe a bear flag forming as well. And let's take a look at the technical target for this bear flag if this plays out. It's going to be roughly, yeah, right back down to that 236, right on the 054 area, 053 area is the technical target for this bear flag, if that's the case. The other thing is okay, so there's still 2 hours and 44 minutes, so this candle can change quite a bit. But you can see that these candles have all been fairly equal length. But then you've got this guy that just is dying to fall further, is what it's looking like to me. And I mean, obviously this can go back up. There's still, you know, the majority of this candle left, but right now it's just sitting towards the bottom here. And let me see. Let me go down. I'm going to go down to the 1 hour. Yeah. So here's another thing I was looking at. So on the top up here, down to the bottom. So we came up. We actually got some candles above this 236. And then you see, again, we've come back down, and now we've come up again, and we can't even break above the 236, and we've got some wicks above it. So you can see that we're losing momentum to the upside in this scenario. Now, all of our waves down here on the Cypher B is telling me that a breakout to the upside could be possible, because we've got the larger wave, we've got a medium-sized wave, and now we're trying to form a smaller wave here. And you can see the last time we did something like that was right back here, where we had a larger wave, medium size, and all the way down to a smaller. And then finally, after it broke through the zero line right here, the price came down, and then we had a nice move to get us to the top of this falling wedge that I'm forming here. But also in this scenario, we also had a bullish divergence. So this price just kept falling, and the RSI just kept rising. So we had that going for us. And in our case right now, we don't. We just have the RSI is going up, and so is the price. So we don't really have that bullish divergence. Now, I'm really curious. So, I mean, obviously, falling any further, I could see, I mean, we'd have to really break above this 200 EMA here, sitting around the 0064 level for me to kind of say we're not. I mean, obviously, we're going up from there, I think. From that point, I think we just continue on to the upside. But we have to break through with a 4-hour candle above this 200 EMA here cleanly, I think. Otherwise, if we come up, break out of this resistance line here, this orange line, hit the 200 EMA, then fall back in, that's just a fake out to the upside. There is a lot of things telling me right now that there could be short-term upside on the I'm sorry, we're on the 1 hour time frame. On the 1 hour time frame, we could see maybe a move to the upside. A lot of things are pointing at that, especially this smaller wave that we're forming here. But again, it's not confirmed or anything like that. So, we'll just have to wait and see. Obviously, the moment we break down from this line that I've got here, the yellow line sitting at the 0059 area, that's kind of the point of concern, especially on the 4 hour time frame. But this is also looking like it's forming some kind of a, if you're into patterns, looks like it's forming some kind of a triangle here. And usually these kind of triangles, they go with the flow. So the flow is down. And so in this instance, we just continue to the downside. And let's do a couple other things here before I finish up. So the price target of this triangle, if this triangle did play out, and it isn't actually a pennant or a flag, so the price target of this triangle does bring us down a little bit further. I think I'm more interested in the flag than I am this triangle for price target, because the flag target at least brings us down to the lower area here. But one thing on the short term, and let's hope I get this video out in time, but on the short term, you can take a fib from this high right here to this low. And here's where if we have a few more hourly candles closing, let's say really beneath the 0.5. So you can come up and wick up to this, but if the bodies are closing on the 0.5 here, and then the 382, and then, if this just keeps declining and keeps getting rejected on the hourlies to roll over to the downside, just pay attention to that. And I'm going to do something I normally don't do on my charts. I'm going to go down to the 30-minute time frame. See, and again, on the 30-minute time frame, we got a green dot here. It does look like it wants to push up on the short term for maybe a short-term move. Again, maybe getting us up to that 0.5 fib on this very, very short-term time frame, which is sitting at the 006 level. Maybe getting all the way up to the 618. And if it's more bullish, we can break out of this triangle to the upside. So we'll just have to wait and see. But that's kind of what I got for Jasmy. It's kind of a 60-40 situation. I still think we're going to go down further from here. But there is still that slight chance, because we are holding that larger time frame 618 fib here. You can see right here, we're holding the larger term 618 on the daily and the 12 hour, which is sitting right at the 0059 area. So we are holding that. And so that could actually bring us up higher. I do think that there's a good chance we have some resistance at that 008 level again, because that is strong resistance. But I've given you every scenario I can possibly come up with here for Jasmy in the short and the medium term throughout the rest of the week here. I think something's going to play out, obviously, throughout the rest of the week. The breakout time for this falling wedge would come probably around February 15th on Wednesday, maybe on Thursday. I mean, if we went further down here, I guess, yeah, probably by the end of this week. I'll just say that. By the end of this week, we'll know which direction we're going. But these are just your price areas of points of interest to kind of pay attention to. That's pretty much all I got for Jasmy. If you like this kind of video, please subscribe to the channel, hit that like button, share it with your friends, and I will talk to you later.